Yo, people, what's going on? We're back again. Footy talk, same time, same place. We're back, and yeah, Harry Kane's still there, just like we thought.
yeah, it doesn't surprise me. How are you? You all right? You well?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, man. How you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, listen, just living this really boring, drawn out saga now. And reports coming out that they're going to put in a fourth bid, and it's like, oh my
Nah, they're not.
gosh.
Harry Kane gonna sign a contract before January. You watch.
Yeah, listen, I need him to for me personally, I just need him to either sign or go. Like I'm just so bored of this saga. One club should not be centered around one man this much. It's becoming a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. And more of an indictment of how we've been run for so many years, Rants.
Mm.
That the dilemma around this guy is this big. So yeah, I don't think they'll bid again. I don't think they will. I can't see them chucking another £25 million sterling on. So yeah, he'll be at Spurs.
Yeah, 100%. I think so. And you know what? Like, I always saw this. I always saw this happening. Do you know what I mean? I never thought that Harry Kane's desire to leave Spurs was high enough for him to ever leave. Do you know what I mean? Especially for a club abroad. I never saw it.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said for a couple of times now. I don't know what the right word is, but he's been on the kind of edge of wanting to leave. You know, like the whole Gary Neville thing about Man City this year, agreeing personal terms with Bayern. But he's never quite come out and said, you know what, there's my transfer request. I'm off. And I think a lot of it is his character. I think he's very comfortable. I'm not saying that's right, but he's very comfortable at Spurs. He knows he's got the fan base love him no matter what happens. There's no real pressure at Spurs, is there? There's no pressure. He doesn't win anything and it's fine. At bigger clubs, there'll be inquests. Why didn't you produce? You're a 120 million signing. Why haven't you dragged us to a final? So, look, it is what it is. We move on. He'll score 30 goals this season for Spurs. We won't win anything again. And we'll play the game for the year of will he, won't he sign? So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I think he signs a new deal. I think he signs a big deal as well. Like he'll probably sign a big deal with a release clause, and he won't be fussed if he leaves or not. That's what I see happening. I think he'll sign a deal. He might have a release clause of like 120 million, 150 million, or something like that. And then it's up to whoever comes in to either pay that money or he stays. That's it. Now, I mean, that's what it will be. Like I said, he's got no real desire to leave Spurs because even when there was the Man City saga, he never came out and handed in a transfer request. Like players that want to leave, hand in a transfer request. Initially, it was like they said, "Oh, Harry Kane didn't turn up to training," and then he came out and said, "Nah, I was given that time off. I'm back now. No problems." He never once come out saying, "Our Spurs are holding me against my will. I want to leave." He never done that. Do you know what I mean? And that tells me that there's no real desire from him to leave. He's open to leaving, but he's not fussed.
He's sorry, I'm just gonna put my light on. He's it's a mixture. He's sort of halfway in between being the most loyal person ever, which is lovely because we always say there's no loyalty in football, and the other half is not wanting to upset people. I think a lot of the younger part of the fan base would be well upset if he left. I think a lot of the older part of the fan base would be like, look, that's life. We move on. Look, it almost made it worse. Like, you know, obviously he scored 4 goals yesterday against Shakhtar Donetsk. Don't get me wrong. Listen, as a Spurs fan, I want to see that. I want to see my centre forward scoring 3-4 goals a game. Brilliant. Problem was straight after that match, Rants, all the comments went to, see, without Kane wouldn't have won 5-1. And you're like, well, okay, you might not have won 5-1, but someone else would have been in those positions.
Yeah,
someone else would have scored.
Yeah.
You know, he got a penalty and a header, which were quite straightforward. That I'd like to think that, you know, maybe not in the air me, but like I'd like to think I would have been able to tuck the penalty away. Look, I don't know. He's comfortable. He's comfortable. Listen, somebody said on my show last night that this saga is going to be the defining moment for Daniel Levy. And what they said by that was, if he turns down this bid, and this is obviously yesterday before he turned down the bid, if he's turned down the bid, which he now has, and Kane signs a new contract between now and the end of next season, Daniel Levy gets so much credit in the bank from the Spurs fans.
So much.
So much. Doesn't matter what else he's done, not won us anything, run the club badly. Daniel Levy's now the hero. However, flip that, Rants. Right? Next summer, we're hearing every day from Romano and Ornstein that, he's in talks with Chelsea and Man United and Liverpool and Barca and Madrid.
That's if he doesn't sign.
If he doesn't sign, all of a sudden it's, hang on, you let go of £100 million. So it's a real defining moment.
I feel like he's got some sort of inkling that Harry Kane will sign. Do you know what I mean? Because there was noise.
He must have.
There was noise saying, you know what, if Kane doesn't leave, he's open to signing a deal. The fact that that's even been put out there, tells me that he's not pushing to leave. Like, he's got a price in it. Like, that price might be 400,000 a week, but Harry Kane's got a price to stay, because if he was adamant he was going to leave, there's no amount of money, there's nothing that was getting him to negotiate.
Yeah, listen, I think you're right. I think what everyone's been saying the whole time is that he's open to moving, but not desperate to move. And obviously, that's the difference between handing in a transfer request and not. It's like anybody in any normal job. It's the difference between changing your LinkedIn status to interested to hear about opportunities versus open to work. You know, like there's a huge difference.
100%.
So I think he stays. The annoying thing from a Spurs fan point of view, Rants, is now we're going to have every single game, depending if we win or lose, is going to be, defeats like that. That's not going to get Kane to sign. And when we win, it'll be, hang on, if Kane enjoyed that today, he might sign a new contract. It's going to be that for 38 games. So
it is going to be that.
Listen, it is what it is. He's here. However, there could be another twist. They could put in another bid. I just think it looks very unlikely at this moment.
That's it. And yes, there was noise saying that Kane has to either sign a deal or leave this summer, innit? So the fact that Levy's turning down these bids, it tells me that Harry Kane has said to them, listen, I'll sign a deal for X amount of money. I believe Harry Kane signs a deal. If it's not during this window, it won't be long after it. It will be before January. Like, there's no two ways about it. Do you know what I mean? And the amount of money that Tottenham are making from outside of football, they can afford to give Harry Kane what he wants. Yeah, they can afford it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, first and foremost, don't read too much into the main owner thing. The main owner has been so far removed from Tottenham for a long time that Daniel Levy calls the shots at this football club from top to bottom. Don't worry about that. But yeah, look, there must have been something in the background, right, Rants, where he said, look, I'm not saying it's this basic, but Levy must have had the conversation with Kane and his people and said, look, are you definitely off next year? Because if you are, then I've got to take this bid. So there must have been something from Kane and his people saying, well, hang on, no, it's not dead. It's not dead in the water that we could do a deal. But what's that going to be dependent on is the better question, Rants. Is it how we start the first 10 games of the season? Is he going to change the course of his career based on the first half of a season under a new manager with a new philosophy? I don't know. I think he's playing with fire with his career if it's trophies he's after. If it's not, just stay at Spurs and banging goals.
Facts. That's crazy, bruv. Man said, how many people actually buy a Kane shirt? Just wondering, never really see people with these. Bruv, I reckon most of them Tottenham shirts are Kane shirts. Kane
and Son.
Do you know what I mean? Son probably sells the most shirts overall. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everyone in Korea will have one. But absolutely, I think in England, all them shirts must be Harry Kane shirts. There's no way, bro. There's no way he don't sell shirts, man. It's Harry fucking Kane, bro.
Yeah. Look,
Man United, Rooney was selling all the shirts.
Yeah, he's not the sexy, marketable player that. Like, for instance, like the guy in your background, he's not that guy. He's not the Neymar sexy name. He's not the Messi name. He's not Ronaldo, but I'm sure he is the number one selling Spurs shirt. Maybe Kane, because of the Asian market. We get a lot of the Asian market are Tottenham fans because of Sonny.
He's a son,
But I'm sure Kane sells enough shirts. I wouldn't worry about that. I'm pretty sure
And
he does.
also, it's not just the shirts he sells. It's, bruv, he's the face of the club. And
Yeah,
Tottenham
yeah,
make so much money outside of football. Paying his 400k a week is light for them,
yeah.
extremely light, just because of what it represents keeping him. Like it's a power move as well. People think that it's just a football move. Like it's a big statement saying, yeah, we can turn down 100 million, yeah, 100 million euros, yeah, for Harry Kane. Like, so what? We don't need your money. Like, it's a massive statement.
Mm. Yeah. It is indeed. It is indeed. I think the sorry, what I'm trying to say. The knock on to this is lots of people were saying, okay, if Kane gets sold, you're going to bring in a Tapsoba. You're going to bring in a Laporte. You're going to bring in a Gift Orban. All these types of names. The worry for me now is: does that now mean that our window over? Are we going to now go forward and show Kane why he was right to stay by still doing that business and pushing the boat out a bit? By the way, I'm not saying that I think Laporte would come, but I think that that's the sort of player we should at least attempt to ask the question about, right? But surely if Kane sees Laporte or Tapsoba coming alongside Van der Ven, and you've bought James Maddison as well, and you get a defensive
And look
midfielder.
at it the other way around. Like, these players are more happy to come if they know that Harry Kane's staying.
Sure. Works both ways. Because they know, first of all, when you go to a club, you look at them and go, right, how do they defend? How do they score? The two hardest things in football, right? Keeping it out the net, putting it in the net. At Spurs, the one thing anyone coming to our club never has to worry about is will this club score goals? We
Facts.
always will score goals, right? Even if Kane has a bad year, Son doesn't. If Son has a bad year, Kane doesn't. We will always score goals. So imagine now, and I'm going to play fantasy football manager here a bit, right?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
If Spurs manage to now go and get and convince Laporte that this is the project, we want you to come in and be the main man at the back. And you've now got Van der Ven to the left, Laporte left centre half, Romero right centre half, and you can have Porro pushing up because Van der Ven can almost come across and make it a back three. You've now got Basuma, James Maddison, and either Bentancur or a proper number 6 like Sagari. And you've now got Kane, Son, and Kulu or Perisic or whoever you want to put in. That's a good team. That's a really good team that press, that pass the ball well, that score goals, will keep them out of the back. Now we're a concern again to the top 4. However, don't get in that centre half. Don't get in that DM. And Spurs will always be 6th, 7th, 8th because we'll score bundles that way, but we won't be able to keep them out.
Sure.
And that really bad Shakhtar team, obviously it's been decimated and I feel for them, but it was a poor Shakhtar team. They got in behind us. Now, they didn't have the quality to quite capitalise on it, Rants. Premier League teams will. And that's the problem. We're playing this really high line without defenders that can cope with it.
Yeah, without mobile defenders and mobile defenders that can read what's going to happen. Yeah.
Which is why they bought Van der Ven.
Would be a great signing. And also, it is possible because Tottenham are in London. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, he's already in the Premier League. Why would he not? If he's not going to play at Man City, why would he not want to move to London? He's already in the UK anyway. He's already in the Premier League. It is a sensible move for him. Like, it makes sense.
Absolutely. Listen, I think if Spurs could make that happen, like, I've been really down on Levy and Enoch and stuff in terms of how they buy players. I've said all summer there's not a chance a Laporte comes to Tottenham. But do you know what I want to do, Rants? I want to do a video where I go, I was wrong. I want to do that. I want to do that video where I go, yeah, cool. Give me all the mud. I'll bathe in all that mud that people want to keep talking about. Cool. I'll bathe in it because Spurs have now got a proper class centre back. Right? I'll be all over that. I just don't know. I don't know whether or not we've got that in us. I don't know. Can Postecoglou go and convince Laporte? I think Man City would sell him to us without a doubt. I think they'd sell him to us.
Yeah, they would.
Can we convince Laporte, who's playing for the best club in the world, who's 29, come and join this project at Tottenham? We've kept Kane. We've bought in Maddison. We've got Van der Ven, and we've already got Romero, who's won a World Cup. Come and lead that line. And I think he'd be perfect for us. But I just doubt we've got that ambition.
It would be interesting because, like you said, at that age, do you know what I mean? He's won everything he needs to win at Man City.
Yep.
He's gonna make whatever he makes at City anyway. So it's kind of like you can go somewhere and be the main man. Do you know what I mean? Part of the reason why he's leaving is because he's not the main man at Manchester City. So people don't understand how attractive that is.
Yeah.
You know, getting an opportunity to be the guy somewhere instead
Yeah.
of being one of the guys. You know, so
Yeah.
I don't
And
know. It could happen. It could happen for sure if you want him.
I'm old and ugly enough, right, to admit if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong and Spurs get him, that shows me a willingness to change. Yeah. Van der Ven, I'm a big fan from what I've seen of Van der Ven, right? But we should be able to get a Van der Ven, right? 22 years of age from an 8th place team in Bundesliga. We should be able to get that deal done, and we did. Can you go and convince a player who's the starting centre-back for the Spain national team and has just won the treble for Man City? Can you convince him that, hey, don't play 10, 15 games a year there. Come and play 38 to 50 games a season guaranteed here.
Sure.
If they do that, I as a fan go, all right, credit to the owners. But I've got to see it. I've got to see it. And he's perfect for the Postecoglou system, Rants. He's a centre-back that's used to playing in a pressing high, an aggressive pressing team that play a high line. He's Premier League proven for 4 or 5 years. This guy is an absolute no-brainer.
He's a ready-made player to come in, and make the team better immediately. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of bringing in players that will fit the system, but we don't know how they're going to do, innit? He makes the team better immediately.
Yeah.
So,
and do you think he could calm down Romero?
I don't see why not. Do you know what I mean? He's got experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you've got those experienced players next to you, it makes you less rash as well because you can trust the person next to you. Sometimes when players are super, super rash, it's because they feel like they have to take everything in their own hands because they don't trust the player beside them. And to be fair to Romero, like who the hell has he had beside him that he could trust anyway? So I don't see why that couldn't happen. I just think that's the kind of player you guys need to be looking at. And keeping Kane shows also that you don't need to sell to buy. Because if you did, you would have taken the money.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. By the way, people in the chat, I'm not saying Spurs would be the favourites to get him. My worry with this would
who else would be in for him though? Because I haven't seen him linked with anyone else.
Well, this is the thing. Who needs a centre half? Liverpool?
Liverpool do, but Liverpool
Man
ain't got money. Probably not. Do you know what I mean? And Liverpool ain't got money like that. Like, I'll be real, like they don't. They just had a Levy bid rejected, 45 million, and they're gonna have to go up again. And who knows how high they're willing to go? Probably not that much higher. So it's gonna be interesting. They need to sort out the midfield. They do need a centre back, but are they willing to pay whatever Man City want? And also, would Man City sell to Liverpool when they can sell to Tottenham? Probably not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Interesting, that Lavia one, isn't it? You feel like I look at it and say, why haven't Liverpool got the money? Like, they've been so well run for many, many years now. Why are they not able to put the money in that an Aston Villa can drop for Diaby? Why are they like? What have they done this window? They got McAllister was what 25.
Like 25 30 mil or something like that, and then they done Szoboszlai. I don't know how much he cost, but he couldn't have cost that much either.
Just quickly, Danny Spurs in your chat said, Saga, you're worried about teams getting in behind Laporte, but Laporte is 29, isn't the quickest. Yeah, but the difference is, oh man, this is where, again, Danny Spurs, you come into my chat all the time and say these things to me, right? Critical thinking. Laporte is an experienced centre-half who knows that system. He knows how many yards he can go up or when to drop 5 or 10 yards to make sure that he's not caught. There's a huge difference between everyone playing on the halfway line and being able to turn back. Like Toby Alderweireld wasn't the quickest, but knew when to drop 5 to 10 yards. It's not all about pace. It's about
experience, anticipation, organization. All these things come with experienced players.
Exactly. By the way, that is the guy. That is the guy that earlier on, when I was doing a show with Kaz from Never a Foul, said, I think he said, I do not rate Erling Haaland. I was like, Okay, mate.
Cool, but see, but that's why that's why you got to pick your battles. That's what they say. Good old saying, innit? Like that's not a war worth even getting
Yeah.
into.
All right, mate. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But,
So that's fair enough. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I think that's the kind of signing you need. This is interesting, that West Ham are trying to get Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire. Like David Moyes doing the Lord's work. You know what I mean? Like this is unbelievable. Listen, if he comes in with that Declan Rice money and he gives us money for two of our worst players, we can forget everything that went wrong at Manchester United. He might go down as one of the greatest Manchester United managers of the 21st century, bro. I'll be real. Like he will. If David Moyes comes in and takes McTominay and Maguire from us, honestly, we should build him a statue. I'll be honest.
Do you know what, right? I think we said this last season, right? Last week.
Yeah.
I think we said this last week. If you get manager in this bucket, club in this bucket, player in this bucket, and if they've all got to align, Moyes, West Ham, McTominay, Maguire. I'm sorry, that just all looks made for each other.
It does.
All looks perfectly made
Those
for
are
each
his
other.
kind of players as well.
Bang on. Now, if you've got McTominay in the midfield with Edson Alvarez, for example, and then you've got at the back Maguire alongside, I don't know whether they play a 2 or a 3, whether that's alongside a Gerd and Zuma or just a Gerd.
Possibly a 3.
I think a 3. I think that would be difficult to penetrate.
Because
Maguire,
they'll play a deep line as well.
Yeah. And his job will be head anything out that comes into the box. Right. So I think it will suit them really well. I think McTominay will flourish there. I think that's no offense.
I think so. They're looking for
a decent player.
They're looking for a powerful player to drive with the ball, similar to what Declan Rice did. McTominay can do that. Do you know what I mean? And from what I've seen of Declan Rice at Arsenal, I'm not impressed. I've never really been impressed by him, to be completely honest. And seeing him in an Arsenal shirt, do you know what I mean? It's just like, the thing is, even though he hasn't been there that long, the one thing I would say, is when you see players playing better teams, they're supposed to look like better players, isn't it? And he doesn't look any better than he looked in a West Ham shirt. And I don't think he looks great in a West Ham shirt. He's not a goal scoring midfielder. He doesn't really have any. He doesn't have any prominent attributes as a footballer. Like if you ask anyone, like what does he excel at? He excels at nothing. Like he's a player that is technically sound and he's pretty decent at everything, but he doesn't excel at anything. So for 105 million for a player that's got no unique selling point is very wild to me, innit? So if they swap him for Scott McTominay, I don't think we're gonna see a massive drop off. I'll be honest. I don't think we're gonna see it. And if they get Harry Maguire in as well and McTominay for half the money that they got for him, bro, I think it's good management.
Do you know what I think would be a really good midfield for West Ham for them? I think would be if they had McTominay and Alvarez as a 2, with Conor Gallagher as the runner that goes to join in with the forwards, and then Jared Bowen on the right. You could have Maxwell Cornet on the left. All of a sudden, it's not a bad team.
It's not, and it's very Moyes-esque, innit? Because Moyes likes a very robust, tall, physical team, innit? And Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay, 6'3" apiece. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's what he wants.
No, listen, I completely agree with you. If you can get 60, 65 million for those two, I think you're laughing. You're talking about Fred's going out as well.
And Donny van der Beek as well.
Van der Beek,
That's why I think we're going to sign. So we'll sign Amrabat, and I think we could even sign another player. Obviously, Johnny Evans will come in on a free to replace Maguire, which is good business. They're saying that the manager's been very happy with like his leadership skills and his ability to play out from the back. So they're happy to just have him as 5th choice centre back, and he won't really play, which is good business. And also it's good for the dressing room. You always need players like that. Do you know what I mean? Louis was saying as well, Beneventi, Chelsea lack that because Chelsea have got rid of so many of their experienced players. I think Thiago is the only player of experience there. So their dressing room doesn't have any leaders in there, doesn't have any experience. And you always need those kind of players in your team, innit? Liverpool had Henderson and Milner, who they've both lost, but they've still got Virgil. They lost Fabinho as well. So they've lost a bit of experience in there as well. So I think that these characters are important because we know that Evans isn't going to play.
Yeah, I listen. Absolutely, absolutely. I'd be really interested to see though when you said another player, Rants.
Mm.
Like if you've got the goalkeeper,
Yeah,
you would have got Johnny Evans to replace Maguire. You
yeah,
would have got Amrabat in as your other midfielder.
yeah.
Mount's in, Hojlund's in. Where's that other player you're talking about? Where are you looking to put that player?
Everyone's saying that this Tadibo guy, but bro, I don't know too much about him.
Mm.
I don't know too much about him. Everyone's saying that he's good. I don't know too much about him, so I
I've only
can't.
seen him a couple of times, and I
Yeah,
I, I, I
I don't
don't want
know
to
enough.
pretend I'm a scout. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I don't know enough to talk it up. I'll be honest. Like I don't know enough to talk it up. But we're keeping Johnny Evans, so I don't know if we're gonna sign another centre back because we don't
Yeah,
need one. Like I'll be honest, we really don't need another centre back. It's not
yeah,
needed because we got Varane, we got Lissandro, we've got Lindelof. We've also got Luke Shaw who can play in there,
yeah,
and then we've got Malacia that can play left back and right back. Yeah,
yeah.
like I
And
just
Johnny
don't.
Evans, yeah,
Yeah, like,
it's
and
yeah,
Johnny Evans as well. Like I don't see the need for a centre back. Like I don't in it. So it would just be a signing for the sake of signing someone. I don't think that is vital. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's vital. I would rather get another midfielder. I'd rather get another midfielder, like another central midfielder as well, because I don't trust Mason Mount and Bruno together for the season.
Well, I'll tell you the interesting thing. I was having this chat, as I said, with Kaz earlier about if you get in Amrabat,
Mm, yeah,
and I asked him if you, for example, if you put Amrabat and Casemiro in, which is a phenomenal, I believe they call it the old double pivot now, or I used to just
yeah,
call a midfield pairing.
yeah.
You've then got Bruno as your captain. He's going to play. You've got Mount,
Sure.
who's been bought for what 55, 60, 65
55
million,
million.
whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He you would think would play. Is there room for all four of those to play at the same time?
I don't
Would
really know, but you know what it is. When you look at our squad, like Fred was someone who played quite a few games last season. We're getting rid of him. Obviously, Donny wasn't playing, fair, but McTominay got a few games as well. Do you know what I mean? So we got to think about it. Like I think Casemiro missed a third of the season last season just through suspension. Like that. Like in terms of games, he missed over 10 games via suspension. So if he's out, for instance, if he's suspended, then you go back to Amrabat, Mount, and Bruno. That's it. You're back to square one. And then
yeah,
we've no midfielders on the bench. If we lose McTominay, Fred, and Van der Beek. So we need another midfielder. Like there's
yeah,
just Ericsson on the bench. And then we're looking at like Mino, who's good, the young kid, but man can't be relying on him. Do you know what I mean? We need another midfielder. That's
yeah,
what we need, like more than a centre back, because defensively we're all right. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's one of
yeah,
the ones where, as much as people are saying, "Oh, Lindelof ain't it," this, that, and the other, but last season we had one of the best defensive records in the league
yeah.
with Harry Maguire in it, most clean sheets. So we need to shore up that midfield. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Like getting another centre back is nice,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's crucial because Harry Maguire wasn't playing anyway. He was coming up
yeah.
20 minutes to close out games.
I'll be honest. As a fan of another club, looking at Man United, if you've got Casemiro and Amrabat, that for me has got the vibes from a Spurs perspective as like when we had Wanyama and Dembele,
That's
just
it.
two beasts of men that can both push, both drop, both love the tackle, ball recovery, don't mind being the last line of defense in midfield.
And Amrabat's ball carrying is very similar to Dembele's. He protects the ball well, drives. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
Wanyama is more of that destroyer like Casemiro.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
that balance there is that's serious.
Yeah. That's. I was just having this conversation earlier. Just saying it'd be interesting to see what he does because you
Mm,
don't make Bruno captain and then drop him,
mm.
but at the same time you've signed Mount for all this money.
Yeah.
Does Mount float around to one of the right or left hand sides alongside Hoyland and Rashford? What's that then
Yeah.
mean for
I think if I'm the
Anthony? And
manager,
you know,
I use Mount like that. I use Mount exactly like that. I use him as a utility player. I use him. Sometimes I play him on the left. Sometimes I play him on the right. Sometimes I play him in the 8. That's how I use him because he's more mobile than Bruno and he's better on the ball than Bruno. So I would prefer him on the wings than Bruno. The Bruno on the wings thing that the manager's tried has not worked. I'd rather see Mount on the wings. So if we are gonna in away games use the extra midfielder like we used to use Fletcher and we used to use Park, use Mount like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I could see Mount being used like that. Bruno on the wing, the manager needs to stop that experiment. It doesn't work. It's horrible.
Yeah. For me, I don't like it when I see him play from there. He's a very he's a frustrating player to play against. He's one of those that I think if he plays for your own club, you love all that kind of shithousery, right? And all the mind games and the moaning and the. But I think when he plays for another club, you hate it. but he puts some good numbers on the board, doesn't he? He love him, hate him, whatever. He does put some numbers on the board. I'm not saying he's the best, but he does a job. And he's your captain now, right? That's the key thing. He's your captain.
Exactly. So because he's a captain, I think that he will play. And if the manager's decided he's going to play, then he has to play midfield.
Yeah.
He has to play midfield. So I could see Mount being used as a wide player, as a utility player. I'm completely fine with that. And also, Man United probably brought in Mason Mount for one, to sell shirts, because whether you like it or not, he's English.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And United sell these players. And also, quota as well. You know that. We got Maguire going out, Mount coming in. You know what I'm saying? And if Maguire and McTominay go out, that's two English players. Even though McTominay plays for Scotland, he was born here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's it. So we got two homegrown players coming out, one coming in. Do you know what I mean? So don't think that teams don't also look at that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It'll be very interesting to see. And look, I think the thing is as well, we're in the day and age where it's not about an 11 anymore, is it?
No,
it's not, because whilst it might be like, oh, where are they all going to play? One injury to Bruno Fernandes, for example, and you're going to need Mount to play in that position. I'm not saying he's the same player, but you're going to need him as that attacking midfielder that goes and joins in and stuff. So, look, it's an interesting one. I don't know what I make of Man United. I really don't know what I make of them as what you're doing at the moment. I feel like you're swimming along nicely without pulling up trees.
But I think that's why I think we're dangerous, isn't it? Because I feel like we're doing work. It's not spectacular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because it's not spectacular, I feel like it's going to be very effective, because a lot of the time that teams like Chelsea, for instance, spending loads of money, bringing in loads of players that are exciting people, but it still needs to gel. It still needs to flourish. What United have done, if they just brought in players in positions that they need, they're not the most spectacular signings, but they're making us 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. Do you know what I mean? And if we sign 5 players and it makes us 5% better, and we finished 3rd last season, 5% better is enough. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're building an actual squad, and that's just what it is. So I'm happy enough. I'm happy enough with that. I'd love to get Amrabat plus one more in it. My preference is another midfielder. Do you know what I mean? Because it looks as though Mason will come back. That'll be another attacker that we didn't have last season also. So
is he staying?
Yeah. I heard he rejected a loan move still, so like it's one of them ones. Where I think
how's that going to play out? Like, are the fans going to, obviously situations like that, without getting too political, that it's always difficult, isn't it? When you've come back from something like that, do your own fans accept you, and you acknowledge that every fan of every other club's ground you visit is just going to give stick? So how do you think he'll fare? Do you think he'll slot straight back in, or need a bit of time to?
I think what the manager is going to do is he's just going to slowly introduce him in 10 minutes here, this, that, and the other. He'll get booed and all that, but people get bored of that shit. Do you know what I mean? It's just they'll boo him at the beginning of the season. He'll score a few goals and then he'll shut everyone up. That's what happens.
One of them ones.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you'll slap one in the top corner, just a bit of that, and then. Do you know what I mean? People get angry, then they get over it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is football. Like, football fans, they ain't got the energy, to be booing a man, for the whole season. They haven't. Like, do you know what I mean? They're gonna do it at the beginning, and then when they realize it's not gonna stop him and he's still gonna score goals, they will get bored, bruv. Like, this is exactly what happens, man. Like, people got too much going on, and also he'll be the villain until it's someone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of
And this is
course.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Somebody else will do something stupid this season.
Yeah.
They'll become a villain. It's the same way the whole David Beckham thing played out.
Mm.
Public enemy number one, and then suddenly he was everyone's favorite player in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, look, I've football, just purely football. I thought Mason Greenwood looked dangerous, like a natural. He reminded me of a more. I don't want to say a more agile. That's the wrong word. He reminded me a bit Jermaine Defoe-esque.
Oh, the finishing. Yeah, the finishing's
Yeah,
a joke.
I don't think you're gonna. I don't think he's gonna be that guy that holds up the ball and is really strong and flicks it on. I think put him with the ball 20, 25 yards out. He shifts it out his feet and as a dig. That's what he reminded me of. So hope the lad can get that back. Not against Spurs.
Yeah.
Not against Spurs, but yeah. Maybe against
Bruv,
City.
listen. Comparing a striker to Jermaine Defoe will never not be a compliment.
No, of course. But it's just as we said before, like Defoe in this era, right now, it would be
Defoe in
really
this area
interesting.
would score a shitload of goals, but the problem is because he's so small, he probably in the era of one man up front, they'll probably push him out wide. But Jermaine Defoe, will score goals in any era of football because he's a pure finisher.
Oh, for sure. Oh, mate, for sure. I thought he was criminally underused by lots of managers. Great striker, great finisher, and I think Mason Greenwood will guarantee you goals. If you've got goals from him, goals from Rashford, and I mean, look, what's a good return for Hojlund?
Well,
in
goals
year
from
one?
Hojlund. Hojlund will give us 10 to 15. You get goals from Garnacho. I don't know if Ahmad plays enough games. We should get some goals from him. We need to get
Yeah.
goals from Anthony. Need to get goals from Sancho. All these guys are capable of scoring goals. Like they're capable, but it's now stop being capable and start doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hear about the capabilities no more.
And
Do you know what I mean?
Mount will grab you some goals. Let's be
He
fair.
will. Mason Mount will get you
Mount's scored goals in his
to eight
career.
goals, man. Mason Mount will get you 5 to 8 goals. Bruno will get you. If Bruno's still on penalties, I think Rashford should take them off him anyway. I like my strikers taking penalties. I don't like my midfielders taking penalties. There's something about it irritates me. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like scoring goals ain't really your job. Like just do what you need to do in it. Let the strikers score goals. It's great for their confidence. Do you know what I mean? The striker that's not scoring goals, regardless of what kind of striker they are, they're not the same animal. Like strikers are fueled by scoring goals. Let your strikers take the penalties, innit? Like I think City let Haaland take them now. And you should always let your strikers take the penalties. Always. Do you know what I mean? Because they get judged on goals. So let them take the penalties. I don't see the point in midfielders taking them. So if Bruno's not on penalties, I still expect 5 to 8 goals from him.
Yeah. No. Listen, I think you're starting to add goals. I'm really interested to see this Hojlund lad play as well. I really am. Bits I've seen of him, he looks very talented. But you know me, Rants, I don't rave about people until they've done it consistently. But with a price tag, people are going to expect the world immediately. But let the lad grow, and he could become a crowd favourite.
No, I think so. He's got all the raw attributes in it, and he fits the profile of what the manager wants. He wants to play transition, aggressive football, and he's literally a Viking, bruv. Like that's why all these Haaland comparisons drop me out. They're very, very different players. Do you know what I mean? He's a much more well-rounded player, but they're both tall, blonde, and dangerous in the box. But he's not as dangerous as Erling in the box. But what he doesn't have in the box that Erling has, he has stuff outside the box. Do you know what I mean? He's link-up plays, running the channels, all those things he's got that Erling doesn't have. So they're not the same player. They're not the same player at all. They're not similar.
Yeah.
They're both left-footed. They're both tall and Scandinavian and blonde. So I get it. Do you know what I mean? But like, no.
Yeah. I mean, look, you know what it's like though, right? You know what it's like. A player comes in, fans only see the price tag. Fans don't want to take anything into consideration. Young player, new league, moving house, away from family, all of this kind of stuff. So look, and that's not because it's Hojlund, it's not because it's Man United. I think the same should be afforded to all players, right? But big shoes to fill. Will he start? Have you got a game between now and is it Forest you're playing?
Nah, Wolves.
No, Wolves. Sorry, Wolves. That's right.
I think
Forest
he's
against
injured.
Arsenal.
He's injured. He's got a niggle. He's not back in training until next
Ah,
week, which is great anyway, because I didn't want him to play in the first game. Do you know what I mean? The first game of the season, go with the tried and tested, get the 3 points. Do you know what I mean? Get the monkey off your back early. Do you know what I mean? And then we
where
move.
is it? Where's the game?
I think it's at Argaff. Do you know what I mean? Like
Because
at
Wolves
theirs,
are like,
we're shit there, mate. We're shit there, bruv. I've been there and lost, yeah, like multiple times. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's a
I mean,
nice
look,
stadium though.
just quickly, Iceman in your chat said, Sava, we don't want to hear that you should perform. We don't want to hear that you should perform from day one with that price tag. Yeah, but listen, the guy's a youngster. He's really young, going to one of the biggest clubs in world football. Like, the price tag is not his fault.
It's not.
Right? This is the thing. The price tag was not Enzo Fernandez's fault, Mudrik's fault, Caicedo's fault. Whoever you want to put these, Jude Bellingham, to say they should perform immediately, if you are bringing in a world-class player that's been there, seen it, and done it, yeah. Like, if you're bringing Neymar to your club, for example, because he's in the picture, if you're bringing Ronaldo and Messi to your club, or a Harry Kane, yes, a Mo Salah, hit the ground running day one. This is what is he, 19, 20?
20 years old.
20 years old, like going to one of the biggest clubs in world football. Like, you've got to give a little bit of leeway for him to, what's people saying I'm using age as an excuse. Look, he's I don't know. Maybe
it's not an excuse. It's a fact.
He's not experienced. He's not experienced. I don't know what people expect at the age of 20. The guy's had 1 year in Italy. Is that right?
Yeah, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, like he's not prolific and this, that, and the other." Bro, like, what do you expect?
Which one is it?
I said
he's not prolific, but he's got to hit the ground running. Which one?
English fans are jarring anyway, because the funny thing is, yeah, it doesn't matter how much you sign a player for. If you had a player coming from your academy, yeah, at 20 years old, you wouldn't expect them to come in and score 30 goals. You wouldn't.
Of course you
so
wouldn't.
Why are you being an absolute moron? Do you know what I mean? Because this is what it is. I said the same thing with Arsenal and Bukayo Saka. When he came through, yeah, people putting bare pressure on him to be this player. It's like, let him become that player, innit? Like, it doesn't matter whether you signed a player from abroad or they came through your academy. They're still 20 years old. Like, it doesn't change the fact that they're 20 years old. It doesn't change that.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You don't expect a 20-year-old, yeah? The fact that he's been playing first team football abroad at 20 years old already shows the level he's at, because most players at 20 years old are not playing first team football anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter how much he costs, he's still 20 years old. However, there is a lot more pressure on you because people have spent money on you, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, he's 20. It was the same with Mason. When Mason came through, all this quality that he had, I'm like, listen, this guy's going to be an absolute goal scorer. Yes, he did it. However, I'm not saying, all right, Mason, yeah, 30 goals now, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? When Michael Owen came through, we weren't like, all right, 30 goals now, mate. Like, that's not what happens. Do you know what I mean? That's absolutely not what happens. So I think he'll do well.
Something?
I think there should be pressure on him.
Yeah.
But use your brain, innit?
Yeah. Can I say something that some of the people in your chat are going to hate? It always seems to be the Arsenal fans in any show I'm in,
of course,
that their opinions are just so, I'm going to say it, Rants, but I apologize.
Bruv, go for it.
So bad.
Horrible.
Like, so bad. Like someone in your chat, I'm guessing this is a gooner. I'll call them out. I don't care. Gooner Nels. I'm guessing that's a gooner, right?
Oh, it has to be.
I said, Sava, players like Pedri are already senior players. I hate to break this to you, Gunnar Nels. Pedri has grown up at Barcelona.
Yep.
Yeah. Pedri has been in and around Barcelona playing the same style the first team plays
since 3 years old or some bullshit.
Right. Yeah. Right. He has been bred to play the Barcelona way. He has come through because he is ready and good enough to come through.
Sure.
Yeah. And he slotted straight into a team where they play how he plays. Rasmus Hojlund is a 19 or 20, whatever he is.
20 years old.
A 20-year-old guy who is coming into a new club.
And this is his fourth club.
Right.
At 20 years old. Because he moved from Denmark. I think then he went to like Austria or some shit. Then he's gone to Italy. And now he's come to England. 4 clubs.
There's people saying he was bought from Las Palmas. Fine. But he would have got into the Barcelona academy. He would have gone into the academy and played. He would have been playing with the youngsters. Listen, the point still stands, right? You've got this guy is coming to a new league. It's like if Pedri came over to this league, right? And Pedri's a talent, by the way. I'm not knocking him. If Pedri came over here,
there would be an adaptation period.
Didn't play for a club that played the same football as Barcelona.
Yeah,
you got to adapt. Now, if he went to Man City, he will slot in like a glove with the way they play. Yeah. If he came to Man United, who don't play the same football, or Liverpool, who don't play the same as Barcelona, yeah, you need time to adapt. Like people are saying, I'm talking nonsense, but are we saying then every 20-year-old that's bought, this is how you know you've got a load of kids, Rants, that don't get it. Every 20-year-old that's bought has to hit the ground running and be amazing in season 1. It's mad. How many people do that? Henri needed a season to settle when he joined.
Yeah, he did.
Sonny, when he joined Tottenham. In year 1, Spurs fans hated Son.
Yeah, now bro, he scored like 4 goals.
Right. Yeah, players need time to come over. And not because the Premier League's this amazing league, but it's a different league. It's a different country. It's a new way of living. Yeah. Right? I just don't understand this lack of empathy, this lack of understanding, the lack of that these are young adults that haven't fully developed. Like we were saying earlier about Laporte. Laporte's a grown man who's been there, seen it, done it. If he joined Tottenham, I'm not giving you any time to adapt. Right? You come in.
Yep. You come in.
You know the league. You are a top class defender. Have been for many years.
Come in, lead by example, and you're
exactly
meant to improve us immediately. This is why I want Amrabat, because when Amrabat comes in at 27, he improves us straight away. Then we can give young Kobe Mino time to gel into the Manchester United team. Someone said, "Oh, Rants, why do you get onto Garnacho, this, that, and the other?" This is the thing. I don't get onto Garnacho. I said this guy is not good enough to play week in, week out for Manchester United, and he's not. He's 18 years old. Like, at 18 years old, you shouldn't be playing for Manchester United every week unless you're Wayne fucking Rooney, bruv.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're Manchester United. If you're 18 years old, if you're not generational, you shouldn't be playing for my team. You know, you shouldn't be playing for my team. We're not Birmingham City. No disrespect to the Blues.
No, of course.
You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to you lot. Do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously they had Jude Bellingham, and even Jude Bellingham was generational for them. Do you know what I mean? This is Manchester United. How many 18-year-olds have played for Man United? I think Giggsy was, when Giggsy come through, I think Giggsy was late teens, early 20s or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And he's generational player. Like Ryan Giggs, Garnacho will never be as good as Ryan Giggs. Do you know what I mean? And this is my point. Like, it's not the point that it's not getting onto him, bro. He's 18 years old. He's not good enough to start every single week. If he's starting every week for Man United, we're mid-table team at best. If he's starting every week,
I just don't get it.
That's not getting onto him. That's me holding my club to the standards I should hold them to.
Like someone said to me, Sava, this is the elite level of sport, but they're still kids. It is the elite level of sport, but so far in his career, he has not played at the elite level of sport. Right? I don't understand. Listen, I'm not saying, by the way, Rants, Hojlund could come in and smash the life out of it. I'm not saying that, but fans will get on his back. There are some players that are naturally brilliant at that age, that are different level. Like Jude Bellingham, for example. Jude Bellingham is different. He's a very good player. He went to a good club in Dortmund, showed it, got his move to Real Madrid, right? Again, the Real Madrid fans will expect wonders from him because no one's got patience, right? No one's got patience. It's, if everyone is expecting, I'd love to know, let me ask your chat, all the people that are telling me I'm wrong, he needs to hit the ground running, you said. What does that mean for you? How many goals must he
how do you
score?
quantify hitting the ground running? Because you can have a good season
Yeah.
Not really get loads of good stats, but you can make a great account of yourself and be very crucial in what the team do without necessarily putting up great numbers. So what does hit the ground running actually do? How do you quantify that?
But also, Rants, you got to remember as well, right? That not every player, like when people say, "Oh, but Rooney did it," "Oh, but not every player peaks at the same time." Yeah, not every player at all.
I said hat-trick on his debut. That's what I mean. That's Wayne Rooney. He's not, man. He's not Wayne Rooney. Guys,
it's mad.
That's what I mean. And Ryan Giggs made his debut in 91, innit? He's 1 year older than the class of 92, and he was 17 then. So, and Ryan Giggs weren't playing week in, week out for Man United at 17, bro. That's just when he came in. So Ryan Giggs was probably a starter for Manchester United week in, week out at 19 years old. Special player.
Let me ask. I'll tell you what. This Spurs fan in the chat. By the way, he's one of these. Comes into my show all the time. If I say it's Tuesday, he'll find a reason it's Wednesday. If I say it's Saturday, it's Monday. He's one of them. I'll ask this question here, right? Danny Spurs. Is Harry Kane one of the best strikers in world football? Right? I'll ask you, Rads. Is he one of the best strikers in world football?
Of course. He's probably the best.
Okay. At 20 years of age, what was Harry Kane doing?
On loan at Leicester or something, wasn't he? Or somewhere else?
On loan at Leicester, Millwall, Orient, scoring 6 or 7 goals for these clubs. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get it up, right? I'm going to find it.
Yeah, get it up.
Right? Because now this is the same player that Spurs fans would lose their mind if Harry Kane was sold. So what they're telling me by their agenda, that Harry Kane flopped at the age of 20. Harry Kane was a flop at the age of 20. Let's have a look, right? So Harry Kane is 30 now, right? Harry Kane is 30. So he's played what in the first team? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. So when Harry Kane was 20, Harry Kane was on loan at Leicester, scoring 2 goals in 15 appearances.
So it was Leicester, yeah.
The season before that, when he was 19, he got no goals in 3 appearances for Norwich. And the season before that, he got 7 in 22 at Millwall. Right? So
well,
this is the thing. Right? So what we're saying is, and this is why, when you break down people's debates and their argument, what we're saying is, Harry Kane, one of the greatest goal scorers in world football, and the bloke that probably in the next 2 seasons will break the Premier League goal scoring record, at the age of 20, all of these fans would have written him off. All of these fans that are having a go at me, Rants, by their definition, have written him off.
That's crazy. And that's why we have to look at it.
There we go.
That's how, like, with Hojlund, the fact that Man United have spent that much money on him, and what he's already accomplished in the game at his age. Completely different story. Do you know what I mean? Even with players like Ahmad, players like Garnacho that we've bought and put into the academy, when we bought these guys, we bought these guys, not only did we buy them purely for what they could be, but they hadn't achieved nothing in the game yet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The fact that Hojlund's already an international, he's already moved clubs 3, maybe the 4th time now. There's something there, bro.
Of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something there, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's not a situation where it's like, right, if he doesn't score 30 goals in the first season, he's already got some notches under his belt. He's already achieved something in the game of football. Like, these other guys ain't achieved nothing by comparison. So there's different types of slack that you can give certain players. Like, for instance, if you got a youth team player, for instance, that hasn't really gone out on loan, someone like we had, like Zidane Iqbal at the club, hadn't really gone out on loan, made a name for himself, not really done nothing in the game. The United fans could get upset and say, oh, he wasn't given a chance. But at the end of the day, he ain't done nothing in the game. Do you know what I mean? He ain't done nothing in the game. Like, so it's down to a manager's opinion. Hojlund's done stuff in the game already. Like, he's played Champions League football. He's 20 years old.
I just think that I've seen so many players are absolutely ruined by fans when they're that young. They come into a big club, and by the way, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying that there's no pressure. I'm not saying that, Rants. I'm not saying that he just comes in and gets a free hit, but I feel like there will be some fans, from what I'm reading from some people in the comments, that if he doesn't get 25, 30 goals in the season, he's been a flop. Problem is now 60, 70 million doesn't buy you a guaranteed 25, 30 season
60,
goal
70
striker.
million today gets you a utility player, innit? Gets you Mason Mount, unfortunately. Like, that's where the market is now.
That's exactly it. So, listen, we don't know any of these players. You never know how they're going to progress. Look at Dele Alli. Look at Dele Alli as a case in point.
And then you look at Darwin Núñez, bro. That man paid 100 million for that geezer. Do you know what I mean?
And again,
the thing is with
Núñez had an okay season, settling in. This year, now the pressure.
The jury's out, and he's not even starting for Liverpool after all that.
This year's the pressure. But, you know, it's not everyone is an Erling Haaland, right? Not everyone is an Erling Haaland. There's a reason why people are talking about Ballon d'Ors, right?
Not everyone in the history of football is an Erling Haaland. When you look at him, like his profile for his age and what he's doing, the only strikers comparable at that age group, you're looking at R9, like.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
like when you look at the goals he scored at that age, you're looking at R9, bruv. Like that's who you're looking at. That's the only player you're really looking at. Who was scoring that amount of goals, 40 goals a season, in their early 20s like that? No one. Like, do you know what I mean? No one. Like, there was nobody. So, like, what are we saying? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, let's stop pretending that this is normal, what this guy's doing. It's not normal.
It's too harsh. With fans are so harsh on absolutely everybody, right? There are players, like if you had gone out this window, right? If you had gone out this window and you had bought Harry Kane, right? Forget what price, because you're paying 100 million north. If you have bought Harry Kane, there is no excuse. Harry Kane knows the league. Yeah. He'll know some of the players he's playing with at Man United.
Sure.
Yeah. He scored goals for England. He scored goals Champions League
against all the defenders. He would know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he would know who he's playing against, who he's playing with. He would have all that data downloaded in his head for all the games that he's played at Spurs.
Exactly. Now that guy comes in straight away. You're going, he's got to get 20 plus. He's got to, because that's his job. That's what he does. But bringing this all full circle to this Hojlund stuff. Hojlund got 8 goals last year for Atalanta. So any fan that's going to go, he's got to get 25 plus in year one. You're like, well, hang on. He's never done this. He's not done this in his career. Like, let's let him build, let him grow. He could turn out to be one of them forwards, Rants, that only gets you 15, 16 a season, but is invaluable to your team.
Like a Drogba. You know that one. Like, you know what I mean? He could be like one of those players.
There's nothing to say that he's going to be a 30 goal a season player, because not everyone is. But honestly, I'm seeing it more year in, year out now. Everyone is so harsh on players. They build them up to there just so that they can absolutely beat the crap out of them on the way down. I saw it with, as I said, I saw it with Dele Alli at Spurs. Dele Alli came in, had 3 really good seasons from 18 to 21. He didn't progress for whatever reasons. And obviously we've seen what's happened lately, but for whatever reasons, he didn't progress. Then the next 3 years on his way down of being bad for Spurs, everyone was like, oh, this kid, he's a waster, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but you all put him on a pedestal and he was a teenager. You put him on a pedestal.
Facts.
Like, let him get to 21, 22, 23 when he's a man. Let him be a man and do it. No, people don't want that.
No, facts. Hey, big up everyone inside. Smash up the like button, man. We got nearly 1,000 of you in here. We ain't even got 500 likes yet. Get them likes up, people. And yeah, we're seeing as well, Neymar has pretty much all but handed in a transfer request. Do you know what I mean? Like, another one out the door. Obviously, Messi's left, and he was always going to leave behind him because them man are close, man. So it's one of them things where it looks like PSG are doing the rebuild. I think they've just finalized a deal for Costa, the Portuguese striker. So I think they're going in completely a different direction. He's been linked with Barcelona, but Barcelona ain't got money like that. Yeah, bro, but he could end up, bro. Watch Chelsea try sign him. I have a feeling.
The thing is, I keep hearing all these players Barca want. I'm hearing they want Cancelo at 70 million. Yeah, I'm hearing they want Bernardo Silva at like 50, 60 million. Neymar, like, sorry, where are these guys? I mean, they just bought Oriol Romeo. Like, that's where they're shopping right now.
And to be fair, he come through their academy. So they bought him back.
Yeah. Gonzalo Ramos, by the way, at 80.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Gonzalo
Yeah,
Ramos. Not
I know what you meant,
Costa, yeah.
but Ramos at 80 million. That's where we're at now with strikers. Strikers that have done very little in the world of football. This is the price they're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if fans have got no understanding and empathy towards that, it's absolutely mad. It's madness. I just have some patience, please, people. Have some patience. Like me and Lee Gunner had a debate earlier where we completely disagreed. Like he was telling me that Spurs, you must win something this year, and I was like, yeah, but we're not ready. Like we need like it would be nice to win something this year, but we're rebuilding, Lee. No, you're letting them off the hook. And I'm like, no, I'm not. We're just not very good. Like we've got
you literally got a new manager in, and you're literally like revamping your aging squad. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is not a trophy winning season for Spurs. If they win something, they've
it's a bonus.
Like it's massively a bonus. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think that you're letting them off the hook. You've completely changed your style of play, changed your manager. Your manager's trying to build a culture and an identity at the club. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely, but listen, it's a patience thing. Listen. I get it. I get that Lee's obviously frustrated because he thinks Arsenal should be winning trophies, but Arsenal are a lot further ahead than Spurs in their trajectory.
They're a lot further ahead than everyone. They keep their manager. This is bloody 5th season or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's not let them off. Do you know what I mean? Let's not let them off. Their manager's been there for so long. If you don't win some trophies this season, he's fucked. Like, one's not even enough, especially if it's not the Premier League. If they don't win the Premier League trophy, they need at least 2 other trophies because one ain't enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, man, don't wait 5 years for FA Cup, another FA Cup or something like that. It's not enough.
Yeah. No, listen, I agree. Listen, I'm lovely, and we were laughing about it at the end, but I just think, like, again, I said you've got to give, at some point, a manager's got to be given some time. It can't be, right, come into this absolute shower of shite you picked up at Tottenham, right? And in one summer, go on, win something. It's like, all right.
Look at these Arsenal fans. Oh, four full season. All right, cool. Well, since this is 4 full season, yeah, the FA Cup that he won, yeah, that Emery walked you lot to, yeah, take that away from his tally then. Because we're not counting that season. So let's get rid of the FA Cup that he scumbagged. Let's get rid of that then. Let's get rid of that. And then we can say 4 seasons. How about that?
I'm just going to put it out there.
You lot are shameless. This is 5th season. Don't chat shit to me. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly
in Poch's fifth full season, he made a Champions League final. Just saying. Let's see if your guy Arteta does. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. He didn't win it, but he got there.
Joke thing. You know, like that.
The Arsenal fans have not learned. Like they have not learned from last year. You would have thought they told everyone, Rants. Every channel I was on, I went, you're salty. You don't think we can win the league because you're Spurs. No, I don't think you can win the league because City are better. This summer, they're doing it again. They're literally doing it again. We're going to win everything. We're great. We're this. When they don't win anything, I'm not saying if they don't win anything, they'll be the ones that turn on their manager the way that other people are turning. So many Arsenal fans, like some of my mates who are Arsenal fans, are really level-headed. And then there's just so many in any chat I'm in. It doesn't matter if I'm with you.
No, they're everywhere, man.
They're everywhere telling me that they're the best team in the world. Okay, prove it. Prove it. Do you know what I mean?
It's that. Do you know what I mean? Win some substantial shit. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is what we got to do, people. Guys, get them lights up, man. You know what I mean? We're only on 355, man, and we got over 1,000 in here. We need at least 500 likes. You lot are taking the piss, man. Get them lights up. You know what I mean? Get them up. But now, honestly, it's going to be an interesting season. It's really going to be an interesting season. For me, this guy needs to win something substantial, yeah? Champions League or Premier League, or I don't know. It's mad for him. I can't even lie. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's very mad for him.
Yeah, I think the thing that's interesting for me is I do think Man City will win it again.
Yeah, so do I.
So then you have to look at Arsenal and go, okay, what are you going to win? I don't think they're going to win a Champions League. I don't think they've got that experience from the players or the manager to get that over the line, just like the league last year. So for me, they've got to win the FA Cup, man. Like I don't even think them winning a Carabao Cup is is enough at this stage. The manager's spent a lot, and he's been there a long time. And before anyone calls me salty, I said the exact same thing when Poch was here. Everyone was praising him. I said he's been here a long time now. He's been here a long time. This is his team. Got to start seeing some trophies. So yeah. But hey, the Arsenal fans are brilliant. Look, there you go. Look, at Sava, concentrate on your own pony club. Oh, mate, do you know the funny thing is, right? The funny thing is, I'm really honest about my own club. Right?
That's the thing. No one can't accuse you of not. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So this is it though. At least you are honest about your own club. They're not honest about their own clubs, and this is why it always hurts so bad for them. You know, like that. So this is what it is. Big up Liam for the super chat. Amrabat and Barella. That'd be unbelievable. I love Barella, but we're not gonna get him. I haven't even seen us linked with him, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It is what it is. Guys, smash up the like. Do you know what I mean? Big up for watching the show. The link to Sava's channel, is in the title. What you got coming up, mate, for the rest of the day?
I've got a stream tonight talking about the Harry Kane rejection from Bayern Munich. And then I have my show every morning at 10. Watch alongs. I've got Spurs are playing Barcelona tomorrow. Having a watch along for that. It's a trophy we can win. It's like the something trophy. We're good at them in pre-season. So all I'd say is, listen, I'm now only 1,200 away from 10K. So if all the people in the chat that hate Arsenal wanted to subscribe, come on, man. stick. No, I'm only joking. And the Arsenal fans, I do all content. So if anyone would be so kind to subscribe, it would be really helpful.
Love that, guys. So make sure you go over there and support his channel. Make sure you smash the likes as well. Get them likes up, man. The ratios are appalling today. Do you know what I mean? Over 1,000 in here, not even 500 likes. Horrible ratio. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, get it up. Support the channel. It's completely free and it helps the channel to grow. And yeah, also, Bant Sports Ooze is out, people. So make sure you head over to my brother's channel and check that out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.